Hi friends, I hope you'll stay tuned to the end of the video where I share an easy to remember way to make a beautiful hanging basket.
Hey y'all, welcome to Heritage Ways. Today I want to teach Little Miss Homemaker and show you how I build an assorted flower hanging basket for the spring, summer, and fall. Alright y'all, welcome to Heritage Ways. This is where we honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. I'm Miss Katie and this is
Little Miss Homemaker.
So she is going to be out here to help me today and to learn how I build a hanging basket, how I assemble it. Alright, now there are a few tips and tricks that I've learned through the years, and that's what I want to share with y'all, all y'all today. So welcome, thanks for being here today at the Heritage House, a village homestead. Alright, we are making 2 of these baskets today. Now let's talk about the basket. For years and years and years, I had baskets like this and I used them over and over and over to the point that they were rusted, the wire was rusted, or the coating came off. But there are so many things on the market that you can go and buy to build your own basket. This is a new one because we are starting from scratch here after having traveled for 2 years in an RV. Been to one Amish place today. I went to our local equity store and then I went to a local landscape store today. So that's where I have bought all these things. So we're going to get started. I'm going to leave this plastic liner in here because it is going to help keep the dirt in and the water, but it also has holes in it, so it will let drainage. We are using Miracle Grow. I typically don't use this stuff. I'm using it because I have it from, I don't know why I have it, and I think I might have had it from when I had potted plants in the RV or something, but I try to use organic if we are going to be consuming the items and we're not consuming this. So I'm just going to use this up. So what I'm going to do is simply put, so the first thing I want to tell you is you're going to want different heights. You are going to want, and I probably have more plants than I need, that's okay. You want different heights, but also you want to choose your color scheme too. And I have chosen basically red and white with a lot of green accent. You also want to choose your different heights, like I just said. So actually, I am going to put a little bit more. Do you want to do that? Go ahead and put a little bit more in there, just like you saw me do. Because I want to build it up some more. Go ahead and put some more. See, now if you are unsure of the heights of your plants, you've got the little cards that tell, and this says it grows 14 to 16 inches tall. But the first tip is to choose your basket that you're going to like, preferably one that you can use over and over. Second tip is to choose your color scheme. The next tip is to choose the different heights. So we've got the red geranium, and now let's see, we have all kinds of things.
They look like something for like winter.
Okay, well, do you know the name of that? You're going to learn today. Okay, you're going to learn here in a minute. These are called, we'll just go ahead and go with them, these are called Dusty Miller. Dusty Miller. All right, now these, it doesn't say how tall they, well, yeah, 10 inches. So, and they come in the 3 packs, so obviously we'll be taking one apart. But we're kind of just setting things in here to see how we might want them. So we might have a Dusty Miller. Then we've got more height over here. We have, do you know what this is? I love this.
Rose, is it rose? No, it's not rose. It's not.
This is asparagus fern. This is asparagus fern. So it's going to add some height, and it's also going to add some drape or hang down. Now that's important as well. So we're going to want, and I'm going to have 2 geraniums in each pot. I'm going to put the geraniums in the middle because they're kind of my focus, my centerpiece, if you will. And then we're going to have the, they're going to grow taller, and then the next size would be the Dusty Miller, and then the asparagus fern, and you can plant it on its side like that. That's okay to do that too. Let's see. Okay, now, oh, she pointed at this one. Okay, this one is a sweet potato vine, but it's called the Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Jet Black. And this is going to be 6 to 16 inches, but this is going to be trailing. So it's going to be hanging down, in other words, little missy. And I think this is beautiful. Now, I have planted, like I just said, on their side. So give them a head start to kind of start trailing down, if you will. So we are choosing our different heights. Speaking of sweet potato vine, now these aren't the edible kind. All right. This is called the Marguerite. And this can go over here. Now we only have 2 of the dark, so 1 in each pot because we're planting 2.
What about...
Okay, good point. Now this looks like a lot, and I'm going to talk to you about that here in a minute. This is citronella. Do you know what citronella is for? Smells good, doesn't it?
I love that oil.
Yes, you love the essential oil. This is to keep bugs away, mosquitoes. All right. Now, it doesn't really tell us how tall it's going to get, but I've had citronella before that was tall and some that wasn't, and I thought the leaves looked nice with the geranium leaves. So we'll put that in there. But I'm going to make sure that we have something trailing all around it. I love the trailing. And I'm also going to alternate the light. See the light color, and then you'll have the dark over here. All right, now here's a vinca vine. Love using the vinca vine. You want to make sure that all of your plants need the same amount of sun or shade. So that's another tip. All these can take full sun / part shade. So they're all going to work well together. And I made sure to check on that before I purchased them all. All right, now this looks cluttered, but once we get it planted, it's going to be fine. And we're going to fill in with these. Do you know what these are? It's okay if you don't. I don't expect you to.
I think I've seen them, but I don't know their name.
They're called impatiens. Not impatience, like opposite of your daddy, Mr. Patient. Not impatient, but impatiens. That doesn't have a T on the end of it. And these are white. Now this says this gets 10 to 12 inches. I've never had them to get that tall, but that's okay if they do. And I'll tuck those in kind of here. You want the basket to be full. You want to start with a nice full basket. I've had, through my experience, let's go ahead and put another big trailing one on this side. But through my experience, I've learned, you know, you want to enjoy it from the beginning. You know how you buy those at the pinch off your bad leaves and put them in your compost. You know how you buy those at the garden center and they're already big and beautiful and full? Well, make yours that way. I want to say a note about buying them at the garden center. It's probably cheaper for me to have bought one ready-made, but there's something about making it yourself. Getting your hands in the dirt. Making it yourself. All right, we're going to look over here. I'm going to fill in with the Dusty Miller and the Impatiens. Let's go in here with the citronella, because these are bigger. So we're planting these first, okay? You going to rub it? It's great, isn't it?
I love the smell of citronella, and it kind of looks like parsley, or not parsley. What's it called? Kale leaves.
Kale leaves, she says.
I love the smell.
It does smell good, doesn't it? I mean, you could rub that all over you, and it would help keep the bugs away.
Yeah, I remember we used the citronella oil.
Yeah, we do use the oil.
We can
for
make
that.
our own oil.
You can. You can. So I'm putting this in here, and I primarily bought this for the purposes of maybe keeping a bug or two away from us. But it smells good too. When you water it, it's going to smell delicious. All right, trying to get it down in there. And then, like I said, I've got... Now you want to dig enough well down in there to get your plant. You don't want to just mash it down in there. Here, there's a leaf that broke off. You can rub that on your arm.
They're kind of prickly too.
So do you enjoy learning about plants, or what would you like to learn about plants? What interests you about plants?
I like, it really depends on what kind of plants.
Okay, well, what about it? Let's put asparagus fern in here.
Some plants I like because something I liked is you have to know how deep, like if you're starting from seed, you have to know how deep to plant the seed, and I kind of like watching them grow. Like I go out there and then there's a tiny sprout, and then eventually it's going to grow into this huge
that is nice.
Plant.
It is nice to see your work like that.
That's
to see
why
God grow.
That's
things.
why I'd rather start by seed than this, because
really?
I can watch it
Well, okay.
grow from a seed.
Good. Okay, now what I want to note that I have a big asparagus fern and a small one. I didn't realize that, but I do. See, it's root bound. That really needs to be planted. But I have a big and a small, so I put my big over here, and I'm going to put my small opposite it, because it's going to grow tall and it's going to drape or hang. So I love that. I just love the hanging plants. And the drape, and you know, I love the drape of the plants. All right, now just like I said, you're going to fill in all the gaps. So that's what we're going to continue to do with Dusty Miller and the Vinca Vine and the Impatience. And you like this one, huh?
That one's my favorite.
It is your favorite because of the feel or for?
Because of what it looks like.
I'm just going to fill in. I'm going to put it, I'm putting my hanging ones on the edge. That's important to know. I mean, life doesn't end if you don't do that, if you put them in the middle. But it's nice to, can you hand me a Vinca Vine, please? There you go. It's nice to have them draping over the edge.
I think these Dusty Millers they remind me of like a dust of snow. You can just get a little bit of it.
And we had plenty. You hear the Canadian geese?
I do. They started coming back.
I noticed that this morning. I was watching them and listening to them. Except those are flying north. Last night, or this morning, I saw the ones flying south. So maybe they went to see some relatives this morning. They're flying back home. All right, Little Miss Homemaker has an obligation. She's a mother's helper, and she's got to go and help a sweet mother. So before she goes, I want to show you that we got this far, and I want to show her, too, of course. Talk about this product, Spanish moss. This isn't sphagnum moss. This is Spanish moss. I breathed some in, I think. And I've loved using this for years, and I use it to decorate. And we'll get all that up and put it in our garden, but I'm making a mess. But we use it to decorate and to keep a moisture in. But I wanted to bring it up to you because do you remember when we were traveling? I'm going to tuck this in while you're thinking. I didn't have to add more dirt, by the way. We didn't add more dirt than we did a minute ago to start. So do you remember when we were traveling where we would see this? It would be hanging from the trees.
Okay, I know what you're talking
so fascinating.
I really want to say Florida.
Yeah, Florida's right. From live oak trees is what it would hang from. And it was just, we learned that it was just I want to say, and I may be wrong in my memory, like a type of fungus or something, okay? And they said it had a lot of mites in it, so you couldn't like just take it home. At that point, it had to be treated before to get the mites out. You couldn't just take it home and use. I want to share this little bit of trivia with you that they used back. Do you remember visiting Henry Ford's museum and home? And well, Henry Ford used this as a stuffing for his car seats that he, in his cars.
Okay, I remember that.
Remember that? All right, so that's a little bit of trivia for you.
It doesn't seem like it'd be too comfortable.
Well, in the stuffing inside, and then they would, like you put stuffing in something, so you're not actually sitting on it. I don't know if the mites ate through it or not, but that is what I do to make it you don't have to, just a final touch of something nice and pretty, and I've just always enjoyed doing this. And it's a trick. It's a designer's trick that I've learned through the years. So, we're going to get the handle on it. I'm going to hang it up and let you see what it looks like. That looks crowded, but that's the idea. You don't want it to look sparse. You would not go to the greenhouse place and buy a piddly little basket for 20 something or 30 something dollars if it looks sparse, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It kind of looks empty right here, but I guess when this hangs down, it'll...
Yes, that's true. So she's saying this part looks empty, but this is really going to grow. This asparagus fern is going to grow tall and drape. Then you've got the drape of the dark sweet potato, the light sweet potato. Like I said, this is not the kind that you eat. And then we've got the, what was that?
Oh, my. Dusty
Miller.
Dusty Miller.
And it'll grow tall. And then you've got the vinca and it'll drape. And you've got the geranium and the citronella. And those will grow tall and full. Over here you've got more vinca. So it's just going to be, oh, and the impatiens are tucked in there. It's going to be beautiful.
I have one question.
Uh-huh.
How tall are the impatiens going to grow?
Impatiens?
Impatiens.
Well, it said, I think it said on there 8 to 10, 12 inches. But,
okay, so they're going to grow much taller
yeah, it
than
said
they
10 to 12, but I'm not sure about that. All right, so can you hold this up here for me? And let's see where I want to put it. Just hold that. Here, I'll extend these. Well, I'm going to pot the second pot planter while you go in and do your mother's helper job.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for helping. I hope you learned some various tips. Choose your pot that you can reuse. Choose your color scheme. Choose your different heights and your drapes. And everything should be the same, you know, full sun or shade, whichever. And what else do you remember? Drainage is important. We have drainage here. Watering often.
You have to make sure that they're planted deep enough.
Deep enough and deep. There you go. Thanks for joining me today. How to make a hanging basket personalized, just like you like it.
I want to tell you, you don't have to use that many plants, y'all. You can just stick with 2 or 3. You can really just have 1 if you want, but there is a clever and cute little way to remember how to build your baskets, and that is to remember to have a thriller. So that's going to be your big, beautiful plant that's attractive to the eye. Then you're going to have a spiller, which goes over the side. That might be a vinca vine, a potato vine, that kind of thing. And then you're going to have a filler, which could be something like the Dusty Miller. That could be, well, more like the Impatiens, kind of a low-lying. So a thriller and spiller and filler is a good way to remember how to build your plants. But just have fun with it. I can't wait for y'all to get busy building your own hanging plants.